Oopsie. Hey guys, I'm in my bed tonight. So, I had a really sore head and I wasn't even going to do this, but I'm going to do it because I'm bad on everything else. So I'll just wait for everybody to come in. If you could please share, guys. I want to do a wee video tonight for in memory of the 25 years since Dunblane tragedy. So if you could please just share. I'm currently blocked on everything, but if you want to know what me and Laura are doing just now with this channel and that as well, I'm MJ McGurk on Facebook, and there's an Expose Scotland group you can join. It's a private group. We're currently doing investigative stuff in Scotland at the moment and the sheer problem with our child abuse. But I'll wait for guys, anybody to come on. If you could comment, if you can see. I don't know if the comments and stuff are working. Well guys, so as I said, I tried to go live when I was out and about today. It won't let me with my network. Scotland don't like you exposing child abuse. Got you live, great stuff. Scotland don't like you exposing child abuse in their country, so basically I'm barred on everything, every platform, everything. And I've been doing investigative work. Hiya Kenny. I've been doing investigative work over the last week, so if you haven't seen me guys, I'm really busy. But I got a 30-day ban on Facebook yesterday for saying women are beasts too, some men are terrified of them. So hi, good evening. So basically I wanted to jump on here tonight because I've spoke a lot about Dunblane, and because today marks 25 years anniversary, I wanted to just say a wee bit because I've spoke about it a lot and I think it would be disrespectful not to come on and say something tonight. Also, we were supposed to gather to raise awareness about child abuse and we were in Glasgow Green the day I wasn't feeling well, guys. But I noticed the police totally harassed the people raising awareness about child abuse again. What is your problem with us? Seriously? We're going to expose a lot of yous. Yous let the football matches I went about last week, guys, this is how I'm probably barred, and videoed all the football celebrations and stuff. And the police just stood back and watched. They then proceeded to take all the Rangers fans to George Square where we gather to raise awareness about child abuse every week and the corruption in our country and to help support people. Well, they then took all the party goers to the George Square and let them wreck the memorial benches. Now, I know people that are genuinely heartbroken. The memorial benches meant a lot to them. Some of the people were in the war and stuff. That wasn't the kids' faults. See, if you let kids get totally steaming drunk and tell them to go have a big giant party, they're going to do it. Our police, Scotland, stood back and watched them and let them do it. Now, I witnessed today, I don't know if you've seen the videos are circulating Facebook, but about 10 of our group tried to gather in Glasgow Green today and the police were team-handed removing them, telling them to move on. They weren't allowed to be there. So it just made me so angry. So I went to Govanhill today. I'm going to show you some stuff, guys. I've been doing a bit of investigative work in Govanhill and I've got some pictures and shit that I've uploaded to my computer because they keep frying my phone. They keep deleting everything in my phone. They've barred me on everything, as I said. I'm barred on every platform. So basically I just wanted to talk a wee bit about Dunblane. If you have seen my other lives, you'll know that I've spoke about my reasons why I think the Dunblane massacre happened. Sadly, 25 years today that the kids lost their life. But sadly, that's not the only heartbreak going on in Dunblane. There's a high-profile elite paedophile ring in Dunblane and they're still operating to this day because the 100-Year Secrecy Act protects them. Now, I think these families deserve, today marks the day, so I think these families deserve today for somebody to stand up for them and say, like, do you want to get that lifted so we know what happened to your children? Now, as if you've heard, the kids got shot in Dunblane, but there's a high elite profile paedophile ring operating in Dunblane and there's many children in Dunblane being sexually abused and sexually exploited by these paedophiles, and they're absolutely terrified to speak because these people are like high profile people. Like, like friends of the school are people like Prince Andrew, MPs, MSPs, lords, advocates, military personnel. And these children are absolutely terrified because their abusers are all protected by the 100-Year Secrecy Act. So how can they possibly come forward? And this is why we're standing up in Scotland just now, because the child abuse and the sexual exploitation and the sexual abuse of our children and our people for many generations is absolutely disgusting. Our government's not getting away with it anymore. They've exploited our people and our children for generations and generations and generations, and they're still doing it to this day. Now, the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry, guys. Scottish Child Abuse Inquiries starting up again on the 16th of March. Yeah, the 16th of March, and it's boarding schools. So it's Dunblane, that's why I wanted to just do this live. So the boarding schools is the Queen Victoria School, and Dunblane's one of them. Now again, this is something protected by this 100-year secrecy rule. So how are these children going to be able to get justice and come forward? And anyway, I just wanted to say another wee bit about the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry where I'm on. It is totally corrupt. I've investigated that as well, Nicola Sturgeon, and as well as you interfering and everybody resigning because it's no longer independent, you're moving to Dunblane for the next part of the Child Abuse Inquiry. I'll be moving up there as well. Trust me, I will come up there and live as well. But not only that, the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry, a good friend of ours has just done some research for us because I'm too busy with other stuff at the moment. The Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry documents are being published by Glasgow University. What is this, an independent Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry got to do with Glasgow University? Glasgow University is owned by one of the owners of Glasgow University, Nicola Sturgeon. So Nicola Sturgeon, see if you've got partnership and shares in Glasgow University and you're getting them to publish the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry documents and write them up and remove evidence and decide what's getting put in them, how do you expect that to be no corrupt? That is corrupt to the core. I'm going to make an appeal for another Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry where you have nothing to do with it. Glasgow University has nothing to do with it. The Scottish Government have nothing to do with it. And this is all because Dunblane's coming up. Don't tell me it's not. It's because Dunblane and this Queen Victoria school's coming up, and that's where you've got a 100-year secrecy rule, protecting all the paedophiles. So you're going to move up to Dunblane for the next part of the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry. Well, I'll be there for the hearings. I'm going to bring everybody with me for the hearings. So it's just to let you know that, guys. So as I said, sadly, it's marks 25 years today the poor children lost their life. But what did the children lost their life for if everything's kept a big secret still? It is now saying that Thomas Hamilton might have sexually abused the kids in the primary school, and that's why it's been hidden for the parents. Now, if he's been sexually abusing primary school children, then how is there any justice in keeping that a secret? So if today marks 25 years of the children died, start getting the truth told. Start letting us find the truth out. Get the 100-year secrecy rule lifted. Police Scotland and our authorities need to choose your side. You need to choose your side. This country is exploiting us. They're destroying us. They're trying to remove everything that makes us human, including speaking to people, cuddling people. Children are not allowed to cuddle and kiss and be social, and these are absolutely disgusting, and it's all to hide child abuse, and I'm going to expose it, and I'm going to expose yous. So as I said, I've been doing a wee bit of investigations in the last few days in Govanhill. So, let me see. So as I said, the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry will resume on the 16th of March. There's new documents that Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry published new documents the other day, 2 days ago on the 11th of March. And that's about the historical abuse in care homes. Again, published without even any publicity, like nobody knew. You've got to keep checking their website to know these documents are even published. So I'm going to say, so as I said to you guys, right, I've been hanging about Govanhill for the last week myself, right? And I know it might sound, hold on, I put my computer back on, guys. And I know it might sound mad, but it's no mad, because I grew up there. My aunt used to have a house in Govanhill. 2 wee seconds. 2 wee secs, guys. Just hold on a second, I need to get something. 2 wee secs, guys, I'll be back in a second. And I'm in my bed because I'm absolutely shattered tonight. Sorry, Simba. Right, sorted. I had to connect that up to the computer because I'm going to show you some stuff, right? So, as I said, I've been hanging about Govanhill for the last few days. They will no longer let me go live. I'm barred. I'm not allowed to take pictures up there. When I'm up there, they tell me my memory's full. So, and the police don't exist up there, I reckon, guys, like they really don't. Unless you're there, then they come about to move you away. But they didn't speak to me, they didn't ask me any questions, they didn't protect me. I got out and walked about the streets. I spoke to some people, I spoke to lots of people. Me and Laura were up there the other day, and the reason I want to bring this up is, right, so for starters, so here's Govanhill, right? Govanhill isn't what you all think it is. Govanhill is something I've never seen before in my life. Like I used to be up there 15 years ago, and it's a totally changed place, like completely changed. And see, investigating the child abuse in Scotland and stuff, and the institutions and all the establishments, like Quarriers, orphan homes, and Aberlour homes, Bernardo's homes, etc., etc. When I took a wee drive up there, there was quite a few alarming things that stood out to me that were Scottish establishments, and that were listed buildings, and that I know who owns the listed buildings. They belong to Scotland, so they can't be bought. So, right, anyway, so me and Laura went to Coplaw Street at the very top end, across from the Police Scotland building in the Custodian's office last week. So there's a big set of buildings up there, Govanhill Housing Association's up there. Inside that building, Govanhill Housing, Laura's got the video of this. If I had it on my computer, I'd have showed you a wee bit. But we asked 2 council workers that were waiting outside, well, I did, what was in the building and who owned like this property. And they told us that 15 years ago, the whole property was bought outright. So one owner, so somebody bought all the property there, right? So I said, all right, okay, and it is, so this is at Coplaw Street, right? This is at the very start of Coplaw Street. So see where all these government buildings are, across the Police Scotland, the Custodian's office. You get down so far down the street, right, and it's the roughest part of Govanhill, but there's bollards, so you can't just drive through. So you need to go through the one-way system to get into the rough part, right? So it's kind of segregated for these government buildings. So inside these government buildings, you have a Glasgow City Council office. Don't know what they do, but these 2 guys were for the council, and they weren't dodgy, by the way. I don't know, they obviously don't know what's going on. So, and then there was Govanhill Housing Association, and then there's a lawyer's firm, right? So I was like, so who owns the housing association? And she said, I genuinely don't have a clue. As I said, it was bought outright, it's private, right? So it's all privatised. Govanhill's privatised by your government. So if you wonder how you can't find any records, any statistics, any freedom information requests, etc., etc., because you won't get them. Because it's private. Your government bought the land. They bought it all. They sold the flats. They own the housing association. They own everything. There's about 5 hospitals up there. There's an ambulance, a Scottish ambulance service. There's clinics where they can do stitches and stuff. There's the new Queen Victoria Hospital with the minor injuries. There's a Sandyford. There's a clinic. There's a COVID testing centre. Oh, get this. COVID testing centre. COVID testing centre. Neighbourhood centre on... What street is it? It's not Alison Street, it's another one that runs down a big main road. The Govanhill Centre's on it, right next to it's the Sandyford, right across the road there's a neighbourhood centre, right? So I noticed there's wee army guys standing outside this smoking fags and all that, but they're dead young, they're young boys, dressed in army uniforms, right? So I went and spoke to them and I said, is this the British Army in there? And they said, aye. They were quite nervous, right? And I realised they only looked about 15, but do you know what I've just realised? They were army cadets. It's no the British Army. So I want to ask the British Army, why do you get army cadets in the roughest place in Govanhill in a building doing COVID tests? These are wee boys. You're putting out in the streets in Govanhill. I've never seen one man. Where's all the men? Where's all the men up there? Why have you got wee boys up there? Like, seriously? I'm going to start going up there and protecting these wee boys. These wee boys are army cadets. Our army cadets. Our Scottish army cadets. You've got in Govanhill in the corner of... Oh, what's that street? Where Govanhill Health Centre is. It's the roughest street there. It's one of the roughest streets there. I'll get it. It's on my computer. But there's wee army cadets, right? And they said it's a COVID testing centre and you can just drop in. I said, could I just go in for a test? And he said, aye, just go round the side. But there's also a breastfeeding clinic and a mother and baby in there. In the COVID testing centre in Govanhill. Seriously, what have you got going on up there, guys? So the Scottish Army's there, but it's army cadets. You have put wee boys up there because you're scared to go up yourself. Wee boys in Govanhill. Wee boys in Govanhill. I'm not happy with this. I'm going to go up there and protect the wee boys. Right, these wee boys don't look right. They look pure chalk white. They don't look looked after. I'm going to go and look after them. So that's in... I'm going to find the street. It's not Allison Street. It's the one that runs parallel to Allison Street. So that's the neighbourhood centre, right? So they've got all these buildings. So back to the government-owned buildings, Govanhill Housing Association. So next to that, there's a big... It looks like a secure unit, right? So it's a secure unit for children, right? Because I found that out. So they have a secure unit in the government, and whoever bought this property, right? All these listed buildings in Govanhill and Copplaw Street, they have a secure unit, right, of some kind. So in this secure unit, so I went up and tried to get in, can't get in, no buzzer access, no nothing. I thought, oh, well, maybe it's because they're protecting the kids in there. So again I asked the council workers, I said, do you know what that building is? And the woman went, she's like, do you know what, actually? She says, it's actually weird. She said, I've worked facing it for 15 years and I could not tell you what it is. I just know it's kids in there. So that was fine. So we went to these wee flats. Calder Street, Pauline, it is Calder Street that that neighbourhood centre's on. Calder Street and I don't know what the street is up the side. But there's wee army cadets in an apparent COVID testing centre. With no adults looking after them, like none. So, what was I saying there? Honestly, this stuff's done my head in. So then there's this secure unit building, right? And so it's owned by whoever bought the land, right? And it keeps kids in it. Now, we'll get told that's a homeless centre for kids, apparently, right? But nobody runs it, really. So nobody really runs it. So we asked who runs it, nobody, really. So that was fine, because behind that, you've got, they're all flats, right? But they're all bought, obviously. It's the same person that owns all this land and all this property. So all these flats behind it. So we went in there, and that's European lassies, right? So there's like like European lassies, young lassies, like loads of them there staying in the flats. And we spoke to this Scottish guy, and I said, who runs that centre there? And they went, nobody really. You shouldn't be asking these questions up here. And I said, well, I'm going to. I said, because who bought this? Who owns the property? And he said, you're not going to find that out. And I said, I am. And I said, somebody bought it outright 15 years ago. Somebody bought Govanhill Housing Association. I want to know who owns it. Simple. And he said, no. I said, so who do you pay your rent to? And he went, so nobody knew who they pay their rent to either, right? And as he said, this is a homeless centre for children. So we've did a bit of digging since then, right? So Bernardo's Charity. Bernardo's. Now you've seen me doing Bernardo's. So in Govanhill, Bernardo's Charity owns some of these buildings, right? So we found out Bernardo's Charity owns them. So somebody bought it outright, and it's been funded by a charity, which is Bernardo's. Bernardo's is funding Govanhill. right? So, press the like button, please. Oh, cheers. Please share this, guys, and because I'm banned on every platform now for doing this investigating, right? So, as I said, I've been watching Govanhill for the last week. I've been sitting up there. I am not racist at all, so before I'm going up there because I'm actually the opposite. Our government's racist, right? Our government's racist and they're trying to create racism. I'm going up there because our government are exploiting these people and I'm sick of it, right? And we whether they're our people or not, we need to protect these children and these women that are getting absolutely terrorised up there because somebody's got to protect them. Our government and our country's exploiting them, right? So, 2 seconds, guys, to stick the computer back on because I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute. I've had a pure headache, that's why I'm in the dark and I've just got candles and shit lit the night. So like I said, I don't know if any of you seen the video circulating today. About 10 of our crowd raising awareness about child abuse went to Glasgow Green and the police were harassing them, right? So I went to Govanhill and it's mobbed, absolutely mobbed, absolutely jumping. Saturday, there's Scottish people, there's everybody, there's every single nationality you can think in Govanhill, right, on a Saturday. So if you want to go on a busy day, go on a Saturday. So I was watching it up there, right, COVID doesn't apply. Like, they don't wear masks, they don't socially distance. All the businesses are opened, in Govanhill. You've got barbers, you've got travel agents, you've got pubs, you've got restaurants, you've got takeaway places, you've got 24-hour taxis, you've got 24-hour shops. What else have you got that I noticed? What else you got in Govanhill that you've not got in the rest of Glasgow? Lots of things. Travel agents, shops with hardware shops, engineering shops, boat engineering shops. God, you can even go and fix your boat in Govanhill. There's hotels opened, there's guest houses opened, everybody's hanging about the streets, everybody's hanging about everywhere, there's 12 flats in each close, so 100 people in each close in Govanhill. No social distancing applies, no COVID rules, nothing. Like, it's like it doesn't exist in Govanhill. So I want to ask our authorities why that is. See, if you think we've got a problem and we us gathering to raise awareness about child abuse, then why don't you go to Govanhill when there's 100 people staying up close who aren't socially distanced, and then they go into our Glasgow city centre, especially the Romanians, they go into the city centre and beg and shit during the day after they've been in contact with 100 people up just their own close, just their own close. That's not, what if they go up next close and the next close? There's 300 people and then they go into Glasgow. Do you not think that's spreading COVID? Do you not think that's much more likely to be spreading COVID? A multinational community. They've got travel agents opened. You can fly to Turkey, Dubai, Bangladesh, Turkey or Pakistan, India, Uganda. God, you can fly to like 23 different countries because I counted them, right? So you can Eastern European countries or Middle Eastern countries. You can fly to all these countries through Emirates in Govanhill in this one wee tiny shop. I'll show you pictures in a minute, right? They're open for business. Like, so, who could I score off it? Anybody in Govanhill. Swear to God, go up Govanhill, you get anything you want. I couldn't find a blind for 3 weeks. I found it in Govanhill yesterday. I got a blind. I got everything I needed in Govanhill. It's like absolutely jumping up there. It's the new city centre. And it's a child trafficking and child and human trafficking capital of Scotland. Seriously. And then they just intermingle into the city centre and then they all go to their jobs during the week and that, and after they've been with 500 people at the weekend and other shops and restaurants. There was even a pub open last night. A pub. They were in having a fucking beer in Govanhill. I was actually quite jealous. I was thinking about buying a flat up there. I was like, I'm going to move in here. So anyway, so there's that, right? So there's the travel agents. As I said, there's 12 flats up close, so potentially even if there's only 5 in each flat, there's 100 people in a flat. There's prostitution, there's child exploitation. So does that, I'm asking if that doesn't apply to COVID, Like when I said these people are mingling with the rest of the people in the Scotland, our government are not taking care of these people. So the privatisation of the place, what's that all about? Why is everything private in Govanhill? Right, so see how, like, all the flats are private landlords and shit, so you've actually sold the full place. That full place is bought. There's a couple of council buildings that I've not looked into, but if Glasgow City Council has anything to do with this place, you're coming down the line with them. As I said, Bernardo's Charities in it. Somebody bought all the property. There's a child secure unit up there. Don't know many children, can't get any information. I've got 3 names of the 3 directors and I've got their addresses. I'm going to go and chat their doors and I'm going to ask them. So again, so see, because it's all private, you'll not be able to get freedom of information requests or any medical documents or any statistics of child exploitation or sexual exploitation, because it's all privatised. So they're all private documents, and they've even got their own lawyers doing all the streets, all the side streets. There's a couple of lawyers, and they deal with all the like allegations against the people touching wains and that. They get them all off with it, right? So all the documents are in the lawyers' offices as well. I'm going to ask if I can request them under. I'm concerned about the spread of COVID in my country because you're hiding sexual exploitation, which could potentially spread this virus. Right, as I said, they've got the army there, right, but the army cadet force. They have the army cadet force in a apparent COVID testing centre. There's no signs for this COVID testing centre. It's just a neighbourhood building and wee guys in army uniforms standing outside it, smoking fags and drinking and stuff, like they're army cadets. So the wee boys are in danger. Our army cadets are in danger in the streets. That's the roughest part. It's Calder Street, and it's like wee army cadet boys standing smoking fags. Where all the Romanians live? Like, where's the men? Where is the men? So as I said, our government created this problem, not the people there. Because our government allowed it to happen. Our government protect this place. They keep us out, and they keep them in, and they exploit them. Right, so I was up there the day and I was just sitting watching, right, see, because it's a Saturday. Right, it's not just the people up there. I was sitting at the back end of, what's the name of that street? I've got it in one of the pictures. And I was just watching the world going by, having a coffee and shit. And I noticed there's a lot of European girls, right, and they genuinely don't look of age. And there's older Scottish men, like going in and parking their cars and then walking into the city, like, I don't know, it must be like near the city centre a bit. And they're walking like out with these wee young girls, and you can tell, like, you can just tell it's not right. So that was, I seen a few all different European, I seen like kind of Philippine looking kids, like young girls about 14, 15. I seen European ones, I don't know what countries, like for, God knows, countries like Slovakia and stuff like that, like they were white girls but European, and apart from the Philippines one. So see, basically my opinion on Govanhill is it's exploitation, extortion and slavery, and our government's in charge of it. They're exploiting them people. It's spread into the rest of our country. It's a massive problem that they can't control because there's lawyers and judges and everybody involved in it. The Scottish Government have bought land, they're hiding the child abuse that goes on up there, they're hiding the documents about child abuse, they're hiding everything up there, right? And there's surrounding areas that are quite rich, and it's just not right. Like, there's like roads that go through the park into these nice areas for the worst area. It's just not right, right? I've been investigating the place for a week, as I said, hanging about. Yesterday I spoke to a guy, I went into a shop on Calder Street, looking for a blind, and I spoke to a guy, Mohammed, and he was really, really nice. He let me go right into the back shop and look for the blind myself, because he couldn't find the size I was looking for. He even offered me tea and coffee. So, like, it's some of these people are genuinely, like, terrified, some of them, and they're all living there, and they're all scared, and they're not allowed to talk, and they're not allowed to say nothing, and our government's keeping them quiet. They're keeping them quiet, so they've got a free rein to the amount of children they want. So I'm going to show you guys, I don't know if I can flip the camera around. So I'm going to just show you like some pictures of some places in Govanhill, right, that I've taken, and I'll explain what they are. So let's see if I can do this. Right, so it's locked onto here. So, let's see. It's not letting me spin the camera. Oh, there we go. So, right, let's see. So this is like just across from Victoria Park, right? This is just across from Victoria Park, guys, right? And it's up a lane. So like I said, there's a, what is it again? Is it for ships? Like a scrapyard to buy parts for your ships and stuff. Don't know what else it is up that lane, and there's a Park Lane House, whatever that is, right? So, let's just see. I'll show you some pictures. 2 wee seconds, bear with me, guys. God, it's even, I'm going to say it's even going to crash my pictures. It had to upload them to the computer because it tried to delete them all at my phone, and it told me after 5 pictures my storage was full the day, so wasn't letting me take anything the day. So they're on to me. Right, so this is, let's see. So this is like, you've got 24-hour black taxis, right? So you've got 24-hour takeaway shops. You've got 24-hour shops. Let's see. I didn't like to look at this, so I just didn't like to look at it because of where it is. It says the Stitch Bitch, and then there's a surgery right next to it, but that's what I'm saying. See these surgeries and these medical clinics and that, they're absolutely everywhere in Govanhill, right? I've never seen so many hospitals, and so basically you don't need to leave the place to get anything you need, right? So again, to me, looking into Scottish child abuse, that's what the Scottish Government do. They make sure that everything's on the one place, like, so you don't need to leave the place. I was just taking a picture of the history there. Sadly, that obviously that's been bought as well, when it used to be part of the park, but obviously somebody's bought that big creepy house behind there. Aye, that was obviously. Right, so that was the charity shop that I was in. All the charity shops in Govanhill, so like everywhere else in Glasgow, they won't accept anything like this. Like nobody will let you accept anything. I'm on a live. You need to give me 10 minutes. They won't let you accept. They won't accept anything anywhere in Glasgow, but in Govanhill, all the charity shops still accept stuff. And they're all opened. So as I said, all the shops are opened in Govanhill. That's up that lane again. Aye, so see this as well, so obviously there's people doing work, that was like camera guys and that the other day, so I wanted to try to find out what they were doing. They were taking pictures while they were in the place, so I don't know if it's for the newspaper or something maybe. So, aye, so they were taking pictures with a big camera. That's just a lawyer's on Gartuck Street. Don't know what that was. Oh, that's the one there. As I said, I went in, I looked in the window on that, and it's like really, really fancy. Like they're flying everywhere now, like absolutely everywhere. Turkey, Dubai, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, you name it. Like this, they're going to run my battery out, like it's no charging. So my battery ain't charging, so let me try and sort that. So aye, they fly to everywhere, right? They're now still in Govanhill. It's like they've no COVID concerns at all. Aye, and then remember I was telling you, like the wee army cadets. So like this is the kind of wee boys I've got outside that neighbourhood's COVID testing centre. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, why have they got wee boys? Like, seriously, look, he is a wee boy. And he was smoking a fag, that's what he was going into his pocket for his fags. But I asked him and I said, is the British Army here? And they said, aye. And I said, what, for COVID? And he went, mm-hmm. And I said, how can I get a test? And he went, anybody can, you can just walk in the other side. So again, weird, you can't do this anywhere else in the whole of Scotland. It's not right. Everything's just not right. And as I said, you go up here and COVID doesn't exist. So like, they've got their own nurseries and schools like everywhere or in about the place. So these were just like random pictures that I took. That was let's see, where's that? That's Calder Street at night time. Aye. Like, you get a lot of the lights about the place, so you do. They've even got 24-hour light shops, by the way, in Govanhill. I found a lawyer's as well down at the Clyde side. I'll do another live on them. Right, so hold on a wee minute, guys. I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I took today. My computer's even went funny 1 minute, it's not letting me. Right, I'm going to come off. So hold on. Nah, that was just a nice motor I seen. ISO see, he's still there. That was my fault there. ISO see this building, right? This is weird, I know. That's the front of it, right? Let's see. So this is on the main road. That's the front of it. But it's pure luxury flats at the back. Like, that's the street I was sitting in. That was me just watching the police looking for me at McDonald's today. So I'll just skip through them. She sent the police after me, know what I mean? So I'm going to show you these flats for the back. They're like pure luxury flats. They've even looks like they've even got their own social security benefits, because that looks different for yours. Like, that totally looks different for even like DWP renting. Doing things differently, it says social security. So that charity shop was opened as well. That was yesterday, I think. Sorry guys, I'm just skipping through these because I was looking for something there. It's the back end of the flats that looked really, really bad. Hold on. So anyway, the whole point is absolutely disgusting. So it is what they're letting go on up there. Like, seriously. Aye, and as I said, it's just corrupt as fuck, and it's a shame for the people. Like, somebody needs to go in there and protect these people. Wait a minute, where is the back end of these flats? Aye, there we go. Right, so see the flats that look really, really bad at the front, right?